Okay, so today what we're going to be going over, I'm just going to pretty much give you an overview. What is if this, then that? And what do you use it for? What the hell does it have to do with SEO? Um, how can it make your life simpler? Can it make your life simpler? How do we use it for SEO? That's the biggest one. Um, it used to be really big, and a lot of people had stopped using them. A lot of people still use them. I still use them. Let me go ahead and let these people in. So, if this, then that. What is it? It basically it's a way in which telling, for example, let's go to the website. It's the easiest way to actually show y'all some of this stuff. This is the website. If this, then that. All right. That's the website. Let me pull open my spreadsheet. So y'all are going to get in the back end of the class. This is the major difference between what you see on YouTube versus what you actually get in class. The back end of the class, y'all are going to have a SOP. What do I mean by SOP? It's going to be a spreadsheet. It's going to have step 1, step 2, step 3. Out of those that actually use if this then that, how many of you actually set it up yourself, or do you just simply go on legit and buy them, or Fiverr, or wherever you're getting them from, another provider? You do them yourself, yes or no? If it's yes, put a 1. If no, put a no, obviously. Just curious. Okay. Let's see here. 1-1. How many of y'all are actually, I need to hear some people talk to me this morning. How many of you actually have more than a handful of clients that you're doing this for? Are you doing them for dozens of clients or 1 or 2?
William, would you ask? Sorry, I just got
So,
in there.
yep. Hey, Sean. How many of you actually know what if this then that is, and are you using it to manage anything social media, SEO, backlinking, mentions, anything of that nature?
So, William, this is Andy. I've used it before, but not for SEO. So I'd like to understand the intent.
But okay. So home automation, but not SEO. You're using it, but no. Okay. So as long as you're doing it for that, it's pretty easy. No big deal. 1, 2, 3 clients, whatever. When you're at scale, a little bit different. You have to, you wind up either having to buy them, or you just have a team do it, which is essentially the same thing. If this, then that. So the spreadsheet. I'm going to show you all the spreadsheet and everything. Some images I grabbed off of the internet. Did not make these images. Don't think I make these images. This is just to show you what it actually is. So what we call them, they usually call them if this then that branded rings. And what is a branded ring? It would be your logo, your business information, your phone number, everything to do with you, right? Then a persona tier is usually, let's say, I'm a home improvement, website or brand, and then I'm going to take some personas and let's call it kitchen remodeling, and then another one's going to be bathroom remodeling, and another one's going to be whole home remodeling. Each of those personas would then have their own rings. All right. So what do I mean by rings? By rings, what I mean is, for example, let's go ahead and open the website back up again, and I will show you the website again, and we'll go through how do we find things that will actually work for us versus just things. So let's say, for example, and trust me, this actually does have to do with you, with SEO. And it can also be used for many other things like what he's talking about, home automation, and then also social media management. let's say you don't have a VA, virtual assistant, which is the easiest way for me to go, all right, I posted something on, you know, in this example, YouTube, right? I just posted something on YouTube and I want, you have to sign up. You can't, can come up here. You can do it for free or paid version. I do free version. Or paid version on this instance. You go in here, we're going to go, okay, if I post a new YouTube, you can go to make an applet if you want, right? You can go here. After you make one, go more. Let's say if I post on YouTube, right, and I want it to go to Blogger, right? Or you want it to go, in this case, to Tumblr. I can go, there's what we call recipes already made, or if I already, for example, if I post on YouTube, I want it to go to Tumblr. If I do, post on YouTube, I want it to go to Blogger. If I post on YouTube, I want it to go to WordPress. If I post on YouTube, I want it to go to Twitter. Whatever it may be. Okay. The really big important one for me for this class, the reason for this class, next week I'm having John Curry and JJ Curry come on. That's going to be talking about, for example, I'll wait. We're going to be talking about G-stacks next week, right? Which is very important for what we're doing when it comes to SEO, local SEO, and the maps. All right. And then what happens with these G-stacks, a lot of people say, well, they don't work. And it's because they're not using them the way they're supposed to be using them. One of the very important things in using a G-stack properly, besides what type of backlinks you're sending to it, et cetera, in your structure, is are you also doing an if this, then that? So what do I mean by this? For example, if I post on WordPress, I wanted to post on blogger.com. If I post on WordPress as a blog post, I wanted to post on Facebook. I wanted to post in LinkedIn. I wanted to post in Twitter. Can do any of you, who on G-Stack? It's actually, we're going to do a live next week on that. And we're going to be doing some more YouTube on next week. We got, honestly, next month is going to be jam-packed with G-Stack stuff. So how many of you, so for example, we do this, we're doing, how many of you doing social media management? I mean, how many of you have accounts that you actually would love to build posts to and not have to fucking, think, hey, I need to post across the board?
Yeah, William, I run right now. I've got a couple clients that we're doing social media for.
Mm-hmm.
I use a separate posting tool.
Yeah. And then they also have, for example, mentions. Like if someone mentions your brand, let me know, email me, tell me. And how do you do that? There are so many applets, and applets just be basically an instruction. If this happens, then this happens. Heck no. Yes, please. So let's say, and I'll give you one of the ones I like. And the reason why these are important, give you this. Why are they important for SEO? Any of y'all have an idea as to why this is important for SEO? I want to hear from some people. Good morning from Manila. I can't wait to come there, Jeff. Backlinks, Google signals, drive social engagement, social proof.
Is it social signal as well?
Big time. Relevance. Yes, through social signals. All right. So what happens essentially, think of it this way. All SEO really is, besides I've already told y'all, reverse hacking what your competition's doing, GMB auditing them, and doing your content. The next thing would be, for example, backlinks. Besides content, backlinks is the bane of any SEO's existence. The number one problem most people have is I need backlinks. How the hell do I get them, and how can I get them fast? The faster you get them, or what they call link velocity, which honestly, a lot of that stuff is just theory. It's what people think. It's not necessarily something people have proven. I'm not going to say either way. Yep, you can buy them. I tend to buy things mainly because I got to be able to do it at scale and fast. It's not like I'm doing one or two of these. So just for instance, let's go and let me pull up one. I'll show you. For example, if I wanted to take, and I wanted to take a blog and repost it to WordPress. If I wanted to take a blog and repost it to, let's say, Twitter, let's do that. And all of this is going to be on the back end. I have the spreadsheet and everything. And all you got to do is click on these lovely links. It's going to have YouTube, to everything under the sun. There's about, 15 of these different accounts. And you're going to have YouTube to those accounts. Then you're going to have your blog to these accounts. And it all has links. So this is a blog RSS post to Twitter. In other words, anytime you publish a new blog on your money site, it reposts to Twitter via an
William,
RSS.
are we supposed to be seeing? You're not sharing.
Yeah, let me see here. Thank you. Let's see here. There you are. So this one right here is a post. Anytime I post on my money site or my blog, it reposts to Twitter. Okay. Some really cool ones that people, for the most part wouldn't think of is, for example, you can actually create, let's go here real quick. So how can I use, Pinterest, if you will, for SEO? So anytime a new blog is posted, I post it on a pin board on Pinterest, this is one that was made up as well. And you can go in here and actually create these freaking pins and actually, in these applettes, there's tons of people in here that do them, that create them. So another one would be, for example, I want to repost this to Weebly. Weebly's being if you web 2.0 type of a website. Wix is another web 2.0. There's all types of ways you can use loads of these sites. Tumblr is a good one. Bloggers. The Blogger is one of the most important ones you're going to use for your G Stack, what you're going over next week. So G Stack is how many of you know what a G Stack is? One, just one if you do. All right. So in a G Stack, you'll see, for instance, your spreadsheet with all your different documents, your publications, your slideshows, your images, your videos and stuff. And a lot of people will go, well, for instance, they'll think G Stacks don't work. They used to work really good. Now they don't work anymore. Reality is they actually do work. They work very well. For the most part, most of the people I actually know and talk to would tell you they work. Just, what you have to do and what most people don't do when it comes to a GSEC, they'll have them made out, right? And you have it and it's beautiful and everything. And I'll pull one for you so you can see it. So I could show you a couple. So let's say, and I showed y'all one last week, but I'm going to show you another one. Let's see here. And this is a, simple one. It's nothing crazy or complicated. So let's see here. So this is a G Stack. This is a business site with all the G Stack information. has the PDF, and then it has slideshow, and then it has a spreadsheet with all the different forms, and all these different all these different links are from GStack properties or entity stacks. Okay. And most people will go, well, this stuff don't work, but actually I can tell you it definitely does. It has tons of backlinks and tons of different properties. For example, one thing most people don't do, they do these one time and then they're like, they don't work. Well, what you need to do is, for example, how do you continually fill up a G stack with blog posts or articles? It's very simple. When you got an IFTTT and or an IFT, and then you say anytime I post to my WordPress, it's posted on blog or a Blogger, it's automatically posted into Google Sheet, or it's automatically put in publications, or it's automatically put on this website. And all of them are tied together, thus, if you will, making your web of all your backlinks, and your entity keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger, which creates relevance. And then on top of it, when you're using IFT and you're sending out all these social signals, now on top of this, you're also driving social traffic to what? Your Google entities, which is very, very important, and your brand in general. Any questions? Okay, so Anthony, you asked, I'll get back to who I know. Let's see here. Am I using Staxio? I'm actually having next week, I'm having John and JJ Curry come on. You know who that is, I'm pretty sure. And we're going to go over, exactly what you're thinking, how to automate it. And I just talked to him yesterday, finally, after months of trying to get a hold of him. And he's going to be coming on. How do I get access to the back end? You should already have access to the back end. If you don't, email me. And if you need me to, I'll make a video and show you how to log in, because a lot of people don't think they have access. In reality, they do. Can you have more than one G stack? You can have as many G stacks as you want. And one of the things that my G stacks, like 150. But I actually have a SOP to it as well. So, and JJ definitely has the magic. So that's why I'm bringing him on. But let me go up here and let him in. So G stacks, they could, and we're going to go over more of this, but same thing with, if you will, the ifs. So you can have a persona, your main brand persona, and then you can have this one about this keyword, this one about this keyword, this one about this keyword. Oh, and literally, if you will, silo your ifs. What I mean by silo. So silo, essentially, this is your pillar content and then your supporting content. And you can literally get very complicated where I go, whenever I mention tree, stump grinding, that goes to this account versus going to the, and then that one goes to the main account. I can do some pretty crazy shit that way if I want to. Okay, same thing with G stacks. You can literally set up, if you will, for all intents and purposes, almost like a G stack PBN, if you really want to, private broadcasting network, or a PBN via G sites and multiple G stack properties. Okay. But like I said, if you do a quality G stack, even JJ will say, for instance, if you want to do something really quality, 2 to 3 days, and he charges no less than, I think, $2,000 to do a real, when I say nice one, I mean, like, you look at it, it looks almost just like a website. And then on top of that, it has all these interlinking and everything going on. And we set them up the same way, but we do them whatever a process. Let's see, what does it? And then on top of it, the SOP will allow you to have a VA do it, but you just have to train the VA, obviously, to do it right. And even after you train them, just FYI, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's going to take a good time. So what I would wind up doing if I was going to give them a SOP is I'd go give them just something. Honestly, you give them the SOP that we're going to give you, and you go, build one for me to test. And here's a logo. Here's some information. And it's not a real client, but you want to give them something to work on that they can get their feet wet with without effing up anything. And I would do that several times until they can literally do it like looking at the back of the hand. They know it that well. In most cases for a local business, is it necessary to get that in depth? Plus, once it's set up, do you just continue with if to continue to post updated content to each stack? Depends on the local niche. I mean, it's not one size fit all. I would say, for let's say and most people do this. I just don't normally do it this way. I usually look at Google Trends, but let's say we go by population count in a city. I would say 30 to 40 to 50,000, 60,000. I don't really need to get in that in depth and siloing and creating my quote unquote G stacks that intensely, right? Anything over 100,000 is going to help. Anything over, let's say 400,000, $500,000 mark, then you need to do more complicated stuff. Some pretty in-depth G stacks, pretty in-depth ifs, and that sort of thing. We're going to, let me close this out. But the whole point behind the ifs really is not even quote unquote getting complex per se. It's a matter of, if I do a WordPress blog, I want it to go to Blogger. I want it to go to Tumblr. I want it to go to Digo. I want it to go to Twitter. I want it to go to LinkedIn, to Pocket, to Bitly, to OneNote, to G Documents, to Pinboard, to Weebly. I want it to post on a Facebook page. I want it to embed in a Gmail. You can do all these crazy ass things that most people don't think about to quote unquote, if you will, create social signals. And then on top of it, share it on YouTube, take your YouTube videos and automate. Because the biggest and hardest problem, in my personal opinion, of running a business and is really the automation process. Once you get your automations down, it will make your life easier, right? The people part of the business is what complicates things. Is there a way to research the competition and determine how in depth to go for each client? Yes. So for example, whenever I'm looking at a GMB, and this is part of the reason, I mean, I'm pretty tired, but I'm re-adding more and more chapters to a lot of the stuff that I've got out there. Like my book, I'm probably adding right now 4 new chapters, one on CTR, one on reverse engineering your competition. And also, if you looked in the back end of the group, you've noticed that I also have one on, for example, reverse engineering your competition's GMB. And that's the one place I start with is, okay, who's in the top 3 right now? The top 3, it might be becoming the top 2 pretty soon. And I go, what do they have as far as categories? How many posts are they doing? How long is their description? How long is the description or text? Something that Marson brought up before, and I started looking at more and more, is how much text does your competition have in their GMB posts? Is it just one sentence or is it maxed out? Did you know that, for instance, your reviews, you can get up to, I think, 700 something damn words in a review response? How many of you could say you're actually maxing that out? Then on top of it, let's say your brand really starts picking up, and if to help you, because you'll go, well, if someone mentions my brand name, let's say Adidas, or let's say, Larry's Giant Subs, that they tell me, it sends me a notification, hey, they mentioned you. And then I can automatically have myself reach out, or a VA reach out and say, hey, could you tag me in that post, or tag yourself automatically? You can also use ifs to keep track of your competition, what type of posts they're doing, what type of, links they're getting. Whenever they're being mentioned on social media, who's mentioning them? I can use ifs to do all that. How important is it to add keywords in a lengthy review response? I have not tested it to say either way. I don't think reviews matter as much as they used to. Do they still matter? Yes. Do they matter as much as most people have emphasis on them? I don't think so. Seems like a lot more ads are now showing on the mobile search on top of the maps. Exactly. And I've been saying this for a while. Like the maps used to be, anyone remembers back in the day, it was nothing but fucking ads. And then they went to including more, if you will, of the organic, and they came out with, if you will, the map results. And now they've taken it down from what it was to 3. And now they're looking like they're taking it down to 2. They're testing it to see what's going to happen, is what I think. And they may be getting rid of it, in my opinion, eventually altogether. And this is another reason why, for instance, when I take on SEO clients, I never, ever, ever, ever do just, I won't do, if you will, just GMAP rankings. It's not going to happen. I do SEO for a website and the GMAP because I know they interlink. And then what if, God forbid, the GMAPs go away and all you concentrated on was GMAPs and you didn't concentrate on your website? Because both have 2 different algorithms. They're totally 2 different algorithms. They're not the same algorithm. They're not going to be the same tactics. But go ahead. Automation is everything. You are correct. Hardest part about everything is automation and taking the human aspect out of it, because the human aspect of everything is what, F's up everything. And that's another reason why these ifs are important, because I can go, instead of little Susie trying to remember to post, if you will, my blogs from WordPress to Twitter to LinkedIn to Instagram to Pinterest and everything, instead of having her remember, I just do an if, and anytime a post happens, it's just automatically posted across board. Most people will pay, if you will, monthly for a service. And then we used to do this until I got, VAs, obviously. You get a software, you manage your content management and your posts across the board. Another way of doing it is I pay, I think it's like $40 a year for this, and I don't have to ever pay again, except once a year. And instead of having to pay once a month. Let's see. Any other questions? How important is ad key? We have any other questions? So in this spreadsheet, why is it important? So what you're going to do on the spreadsheet, you're going to have a username, password by each of your accounts, right? And I'm going to show you. So for example, on this spreadsheet, I got some tabs down here in the bottom. One says Web 2.0, one says Applets. Your Applets has my step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1 is create the accounts in the above properties, which is right here, your Web 20s. You're going to get, and here's your Gmail, Yahoo, and Outlook. What's your username, password for each of these? Do you have a date of birth, recovery? What's the login URL? What site? YouTube, Blogger, Tumblr, Weebly, WordPress, Gravatar, Twitter, Diego profile, Dingo, Evernote, Instapaper for posts, Instapaper for videos, Pocket, G Drive for the post folder, G Drive for the video folder. So anytime I post a new video on YouTube or whatever, it goes to my G Drive, which has to do with your G Stack. Anytime I post an article, it gets put to my docs folder in my G Stack. Videos, post short or bit.ly, your IFT. Optional sites, which aren't really optional in my opinion. I just put that there because a lot of people don't want to do it to the max. I would say do it to the freaking max if you're going to do it. Facebook, Pinboard, About Me, or About.me. Follow Us, Pearl Trees, Tribird, Typepad, LiveJournal, Nimbus Note, Behance, Loom, Magic Cloud. There's shit tons of ones you could actually use that people don't think of as Web 20s, but are actually Web 20s. And that's another thing we used to call, you've heard me mention the term parasite or barnacle SEO. That's why you're using these. You're using them for their authority. They're high authority websites, and now I'm going to utilize them. All right. So step 1 is we're going to create those accounts And then we're going to put our email, our username, our password, what's the RSS feed, right? But then step 2, once we do that, then we're going to get the, RSS feed, the YouTube channel feed. Okay, so whenever a post or a video, it's uploaded on whatever outlet, it gets syndicated to all of these properties. This is something me and Dan were talking about the other day, and we mentioned in class as well. All right. I recommend having about 5 rings. If you're going to really do it, you're going to have 5 rings, or, your personas are based on your keywords, your main money site links to all of it, right? You want a good business description. You want your logo. You want your NAP, and you want your map. Of course, you always want your map. All right. Now, once you complete the building of the properties, you add the completed profile links to all the properties. Once you build out all of these Web 20 properties, you have the URLs here. Then you're going to take these URLs and you're going to add them to the profiles of each one of these. Like a lot of people, for example, I'll also pretty soon, I have another stack that I made up, and I'm going to be showing y'all next, probably in the next 2 weeks, because I've actually got stacks I've made myself, not just GStack and Cloud Stacks, but what's called a branding stack, where I'm going to take all my Web 20 properties, I'm going to take all those links, I'm going to put them on a page inside my website. Yes, I do offer a paid service. If you go to rankfortress.com/shop, you'll see all the paid services we do. Do I use a different IFT account for each spreadsheet? So yes, anytime you create your branded ring, it's going to be, one set of accounts. Anytime you do your persona or your keyword 1, keyword 2, 3, 4, 5, up to however many you got, each one of those will need their own spreadsheet with, with their own login information. All right. Step 3, save your freaking data. Save your data, save it. Because just like citations, God forbid you change something and you need to go in there and change it. And you got your username, password, you're going to be, up the stream without a paddle. Will this work for Rank and Rent? Well, Rank and Rent to me, of course it will work with Rank and Rent. Rank and Rent's no different. Still needs SEO, still needs social media management, still needs, social signals. It's no different. So that's pretty much, that's really it. It's, let's say, for instance, it's WordPress to LinkedIn to Quora, StumbleUpon, Facebook, Yahoo, Posterius, Dig, YouTube, SlideShare, Vimeo, Tumblr, Twitter, Pinterest, Flickr, Pixa, all these different properties, right, that you could be utilizing that most people don't even utilize. This is why I tell you, if you just do the basics, really, SEO basics, like the structure, siloing, social media posts, social signals, proximity, that stuff, and just do, for instance, why I say location pages, GStack, Cloud Stack, filling up your GStack with this information, do some backlinking, do some outreach, nothing crazy. You're likely going to start ranking just based off that. Then let's throw in some advanced schema. Magic. You just start ranking even higher. Now, and a lot of people want to go, for instance, when I mentioned CTR, they go, let's go straight to CTR, and they don't have nothing else done. And that's just not the way to do things. You do these other things first. Then once you, do CTR, the magic happens. Or once you do schema, the magic happens. I was talking to a client yesterday about this. They wanted to go straight to CTR. I ran an audit on his website, and nope, you need to do these fixes first, sir. Then we can get to the rest of the stuff. Any questions? Open up for questions. You got about 20 minutes of questions left. So this sheet is going to be in the back end, and I'm going to have step 1, step 2, step 3, obviously back there. On top of that, like I said, it's going to be in the back end. Download it, use it. If you have any questions regarding ifs, we build them out if you want it. It's not the point of doing this is to do that, but if you want that service, I don't even know how much we charge for them. Really, because we sell them. We sell that. I sell location pages like y'all see me mentioning. I just want to give y'all the steps. And if y'all want to, I would prefer if y'all can do them, that's great. If you don't want to do them, just let me do them. That's cool. Same thing with our Google entity stacks. We do those as well. But at If Network, I charge $127 one time to do them. What I would tell you to do is if you're going to do it, do not do that first. All right. If you're going to do anything, I tell people location pages first. After you do your audit and you do the fixes, then do your location pages. And after you do your location pages, you're going to do your, not even your schema, you're going to do your citations, make sure that's all together. And once you do your citations, do some good articles on, let's say, Patch and some other places, right? Then once I have that, then I go, okay, now let me do the Google entity stack, right? But before the Google entity stack, even I want to set up all my If network. I want to set up all those social accounts because that's going to tie into my Google entity stack. And then once I do my Google entity stack, now that I start publishing stuff, it's going to automatically start filling my stack. You understand? So those are all the points of what I would do and how I would do them. And then if you can't get everything moving after you've done all that, and then we start doing advanced schema. And then after advanced schema, if still you're still not in the top 3, means you're probably in a competitive industry. And then after that, we go, okay, now let's look at doing some CTR manipulation towards it. Honestly, I don't ever know, Kiefer. I really don't. I mean, if I don't have it and you want to ask me about it, I'll tell you, does it work or not work? And the honest to goodness truth, the only reason I started putting this stuff out there was the sheer fact I had people asking me, hey, can I pay you to do content? Yes. Hey, can I pay you to do? Same thing with the damn mastermind. I didn't even want to do the mastermind. Do you do page speed? Yes, I do that too. You want an hour of my time? Yeah, you can have an hour of my time. It's $97.
Hey, William, is that entire process you just outlaid, is that in the checklist in the back end?
No, it is not. Another number one reason I'm rewriting, not rewriting per se, but I'm adding some other chapters into my book is to lay that out. Like the biggest difference I think that you're going to see in the book is the big one is going to be reverse engineering your competition. That's the first step. Then after that, then I'm going to get into neighborhood pages. I'm going to have a chapter on neighborhood pages. And then I'm going to have a chapter on advanced schema. Then I'm going to have a chapter on, content. I'm going to have a chapter on how to, all that crap. Everything we go over in this class is what I'm basically essentially going to be putting in the book.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic to get that type of a augmented checklist because I know you got one in the back end, but just what you just rattled off there was really helpful.
I've highly considered telling everybody, listen, if you want to know my process, come to my class, because I've totally changed the way I do things. Because if you look at my book, it's traditional. Fill in your information, which is very basic. That's still good. Fill in your description, fill in your categories, do this and do this and do this and do this. But I really want to start it with, what's your competition do? Audit your GMB. Do you have a GMB? And then go, now let's reverse engineer your competition, and then location pages, and then content, and then schema and everything else. So, that's where I'm heading with that as well. And soon as that drops out, I'll let everybody know, and I'll be giving everybody, obviously, if you're not in my Google group, get in my Google group, but I'll be dropping it in there. I don't know. I might be calling it William's Little Black Book. You like that, Jeff? Or William's Little Black Book of fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Would request to purchase whatever you do with patch. Patch is so simple, bro. I don't even like charging people for that. You write an article and you go to patch, you create a account and just go to gigs and announcement and take that article. I put it in there. The only magic I do is I take a right click on one of my Google posts, and then I go back over my patch and I hit Control V. It's hyperlink. The other one I do, I take a screenshot of the map and I put it down at the bottom with the name, address, phone number, website. I take a screenshot of the map, put it at the bottom, and I hyperlink it to my map. And then I may do, a link insertion. And that's it. It's nothing. And I'll go over that too. Not next week, next week after that, maybe. I'll do a patch stack for y'all and show y'all what I do. I did go over it privately, but it was only because a certain someone, not in this class, a certain someone I don't want to name, but said they were coming out with a course on it. And of course they came out with a course on it after they heard me talk about it. And then after they heard me talk about it, came out with a course. So, but we'll do a stack and I'll show you, and I won't even charge you to show you. I've recently used Web 2.0 Ranker for citations, social power-ups, following Brian Willey's rank course because I paid way too much for the course not to follow the advice. Yeah, I was looking at one yesterday just for RYS, the Google stack, what we call an RYS or Google stack, or just pretty much, it's a fancy way of saying a powered up kick-ass stack. That's all it is. $4,000. I was like, you have a living damn mind. And this is why people get pissed off, because I'm going, for instance, here's how to do it all, and here's a SOP. And then they go, William's an evil person. William takes everybody's shit and shows everybody, and he teaches everything he's learned from everybody. Yeah, I do, because y'all are a bunch of crooks. I've learned a lot of things over 20 years of doing SEO. One of which is most SEOs tend to be like the magician with the rabbit hat. The only difference is the rabbit's your money. Give me your money, I make it disappear, and I act like it's a bunch of magic. Really, it's not. And I just want to show people, here's how you do a G stack, where everybody wants to charge you $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to do. Here's a cloud stack. Here's so you can do it yourself. Here's the IFT. Here's another stack. Here's location pages. If you were to pay people to do this shit, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars. And that's what the industry has been getting away with for such a long damn time. However, after watching your location page setup and seeing how much more in depth you go and how much cleaner the page ends up looking, I wish I would have found your stuff prior to dropping that $1,300 on the course. I would love that in the freaking review. If you could do a video review for me, Trevor, that would be freaking amazing. I love that. Those type of things. I'll tell you, after last night, what I went through, I get so tired of it sometimes. I'm like, I don't even want to do it anymore. Just being honest. That's just me being honest. I talked to Ruben some this morning too, but it's just, you go through stuff and people say stuff and accuse you of stuff, and it's like, why do I even bother? But things like that's what makes me keep going. Laughing out loud, Java. Lots of stacks. Yep. Thank you. True. Yeah. If I keep giving good shit, Facebook will take me down. And I agree. is interesting with that contest that was going on. And I don't know who did it or what happened, but literally the day that everyone went live, my account was taken down. So I don't know, but it is what it is. What happened last night? It is what it is. I had someone announce in a group how wonderful the class was, and then people get pissed off and people want to accuse stuff. And then me, the type of person I am, I sit there and I go, well, let me tell you the truth. And that's what happened. But it's typical. It's the SEO industry. It's not anything crazy. It's just the SEO industry, really. SEO industry for this longest time, I was, I got started in it. Most of you know when I was Trevor, if you could do the video and then email it to me, that would be awesome. So I got started SEO back before Panda and Penguin. I have clients that I could literally give you their phone number. You could call them. Yes, I've been working with William for over a decade, not, 1 year, 2 years, 10 plus years. Okay. And then I have other clients been with me for a month, 3 months, 6 months, several years. And I say all that to say, I've been in the industry. I see the way it is. One of my first big clients was, and the reason why I do what I do is my first big client per se went like this. I came in, I met the guy, I was in flip-flops. It might sound unprofessional, but I was in flip-flops and shorts. And I come in and meet with the guy. It was a co-location facility where it's a data center. The guy had an SEO company. Only time you ever heard from him was when they wanted money. Jeff can account for this. He's talked to me about stories where he went through, I think, 12 different SEO companies, didn't give him one goddamn report. And this happens all the time with SEOs. The only time you hear about them, give me my money. Then once you give your money, they disappear for 30 days. And this guy, I met him, same thing. Within a year, he sold that business, got sold to someone that we use every day. And I could tell you Google was in that facility. I could tell you Amazon was in that facility. And that was one of my very first SEO clients that I ever dealt with. And he sold it, for the millions. Okay. And what happened, one of the very first things he told me was, he goes, well, I have this SEO company and they don't give me any reports and I'm not seeing nothing happening or anything. And the way I am, I've always been very transparent. If you have a problem with me, come to me. If you don't like me, tell me. But don't do it people do it behind your back. Do it like a man and come to someone's face, And I can't stand, the biggest reason why I like working with, business owners, agencies, is I don't like the way most SEOs are, and they just act like everything's magic, smoke and mirrors and stuff like that. And I just really want to show everybody, for example, here's how we do a G stack. Here's how we do cloud stacks. Here's how we do geo pages. What's a good margin when selling GMB SEO services? So it depends on your state. Like in my hometown, Jacksonville, Florida, everyone sells just SEO, not GMB, just traditional SEO for about $1,200 a month. Okay. Throw in GMB. People like Web 20 Ranker, they sell just GMB posts, I believe 2 or 3 a week for a couple of $100, probably about $300 a month. With me, someone's getting web design, the web maintenance, the web services, the website SEO, the GMB SEO and all that for $800 a month. And then once you're an agency, there's agency pricing. I, however, am not taking on any more clients. I'm too damn busy. I'm currently running my agency as a side gig to my mortgage business, not charging enough yet, and doing most things myself. I need to hire a VA and scale, and can't wait to get into these SOPs. If you need a VA, I can hook you up with some people. If you need a business to help you in regards to social media, SEO, any of that, I know, plenty living here in the Philippines. So Even if I can't help you, I do know how to use them. Do I recycle GMB posts? No, they don't expire. That's what most people think. Let me clarify. So when most people say expire, they go, and this is what used to happen. After 7 days, they disappear, right? They don't disappear. If you go into the back end of your G site, you'll see them filling into the bottom of your back end. Another thing is this. I use those posts. I'll right click on them, hot link them into a blog post or into an actual website page, right? And I've tested this, so I know it works. I had someone go, well, what happens if you delete that post? Nothing. You delete it, doesn't mean shit. I've literally embedded that image from a GMB post into a web page, went into the GMB, deleted that post, waited weeks, go back into my article or into my blog post or into my web page and see if that link is broken. It's not broken. The image isn't broken. Nothing. It hasn't deleted. It's still in Google's database. So don't let people lie to you and tell you that, because a lot of people will say, for instance, GMB posts, you should only post once, twice, 3 times a week. Horse crap. You know, I could give you, I even tell you this, challenge you. Go do a GMB. If you got 2, do a GMB post a week, only 1 or 2 on one GMB, and then take another one and do 5 a week on it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and see which one gets more traction. George, who's not in here today, in the back end of the group, you'll notice there's a post. He literally only did the GMB posts and the links I said to do on the GMB posts, and his numbers went from, I believe, 5 and 6 to 2s and 3s and 1s in his GeoGrid, just with posts, not with location pages or anything else. And Jeff just dropped his information. If you're looking for a VA, he's one of the people I'd recommend you reach out to. So,
William, was that the example where he posted 5 days a week with just
you
the
got
description links? Yep. To the GMB CID is what he was linking to.
That's it. And he just followed the directions. And I had another guy the other day before my freaking Facebook was taken down. So, but yeah. I don't recycle GMB posts, so I don't have the need to. I don't think you should, personally. If you go through my GMB postings, and I'll might go over it again, but one of the videos and SOPs we laid out was for GMB posts specifically, because I use specific URLs as well, CID. I used to use Bitly. I'm actually not using Bitly as much. It's another reason why I hate doing, I tell people all the time, I hate doing courses. People come in, they find out what you're doing, then they start telling everybody starts doing it, then it doesn't work as effectively anymore. Yeah. Welcome to my world. So, Marcin, you're pretty quiet, buddy. You all right? Probably is.
Why are you thinking I'm quiet?
You always ask questions.
You miss me?
You always ask questions, and you're not asking questions. So I'm wondering what.
You know, I will tell you why. Because it's a new thing for me, and I have to test it, and then I will have a question. Okay. And actually, you just say awesome. You're offering for a $97, like 1 hour of your time. So I asked you a long time ago about that. So for sure, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Marcin. All right, anybody ain't got any more questions? If not, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. And like I said, let me show y'all one last time. And we got a bunch of other stuff we're going to be going over. Anybody know what a KML file is? Anthony should know what a KML file is. I'm pretty damn sure you know what a KML file is.
Something about maps, right?
We're going to be going over how to do KML files, which is another little deep dark secret of SEOs. I'm literally getting to the point I'm not going to call myself an SEO. I'm going to call myself like anybody ever see the movie with I forget the name of it, and be a day walker instead of a vampire. I'm a day walker. Half vampire, half human. Yep. So let me show you this. This is going to be in the back end. You're going to have the video, and then you'll have these links, right? And these are your properties, and you want to fill this spreadsheet out. And if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll have the link in there too. If you want to buy the service done for you, it's 127. So, but it's been good talking to you guys. I appreciate it as always. If you have any questions, yeah, that'd be awesome. Send me some good reviews. I'd love to have that. I need to pick me up. I'm going to go talk to my boys, and then I'm going to go to sleep because I was up till 4 a.m. So I will talk to you guys soon. I appreciate it.
Thanks, William.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thanks, William. And you're great. It's the best.
Thank you, Johnny.